Well, the Saints raced to a 13-0 start. Believe me, I was aware of what was going on down in New Orleans. And of course, inside, I was just hoping that by some chance, if the Saints could ever experience this thing for the first time, wouldn't it be wonderful to be there to call it?
And what I love about Coach Payton that particular year is that you could see how he smelled his greatness. And you could see why he has become one of the great offensive minds in the game of football. And it's due to the fact that he's constantly trying to put pressure and trying to outwit every defensive mind. Hard to do. Hard to be able to sit and say to yourself, is there something more that we can get out of our assets on the field? And to me, that's the Dalai Lama, when you can get everything you possibly can out of all the assets on the field. And so, yeah, Coach Payton and what they did, especially that year, especially how he handled that year, was phenomenal.
And then, you're trying to first get in, win the division, get into the postseason. Then you're trying to secure a #1 seed, and you know that that's important in terms of getting to the Super Bowl. So we're hitting these milestones, and obviously you feel like you've got a good team and a good chance, but you also know, you can lose one game and you're out.
Jeez Louise, right? Man, that guy's a monster. He was in a neck brace the week before, like getting carted off the game. So we're like, oh, we're good. We didn't work on any chips, double teams, tight end blocking, running back blocking them.
They're a playoff team, and they beat us. They end the win streak. There's disappointment, because at that point when you're 13-0, you think, man, we might win them all, and then we lose a heartbreaker to Tampa Bay at home.
Well, that Sunday night or Monday night, the Bears beat the Vikings, and that secured the 1 seed for us. So we rested a lot of the starters for the Carolina game, and that was, look, there were a lot of people that disagreed with that felt like we needed to, get back on the winning note before entering the postseason. No team's ever lost 3 in a row, and then blah, blah, blah. I thought we needed rest.
Everybody in the media was telling us, there's never been a team in NFL history to lose the last 3 and win a Super Bowl, and we weren't worried about it. The way we had been playing and what we knew we could do, we just wanted the next opportunity, and that was in the playoffs.
Every year, Coach Payton circles a game on the calendar that he feels like this is the bat game for us. And what the significance of the bat game is, we know when Coach Payton hands those bats out, we have to be the toughest team on the football field. We have to be the most physical team on that football field. We have to set the tone from start to finish. And it just so happened to be that Arizona Cardinals game where we had to be the most physical football team on the field. And before that game, we finished the season with 3 losses in a row. And so there was a lot of chatter. I think maybe even some guys were a little nervous because, listen, let's be honest, nobody wants to end the season with losing, 3 games in a row, even if, you're 13-0. And so, I think by Coach Payton, making that a bad game, it just kind of refocused everybody, and also kind of, refocused our belief, in the process.
Motion, it's Preston. He'll hand it off. Hightower running right side to the 40, 45, 50, midfield. They've done it again to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. And for the second week in a row, the Saints have been burned by a big run early and just seconds into this game after a 70-yard touchdown.
I know Tim Hightower tried to take the air out of the city with the first run, 75 or 80 yards up the middle, I think untouched.
But it didn't impact the players at all. I think we all came back, sat down on the sideline together, kind of looked each other in the eye, and it's like, okay, that was one play that just happened. We feel good about the game plan. You know, we've watched this team on film from all their games this season. We recognize how strong we are. We feel good about our plan. Okay, let's just go back and one snap and clear and move on. And the rest of the game, you know, was exactly, I think, we envisioned it would being.
After that, it kind of, I think, woke everyone up and we played well.
Taken in by Reggie Bush at the 18-yard line. Running to his right now, cutting it upfield. He's got room. He's up to the 40, 45, midfield 50. Running down the near sideline. Graham won't even contest him. Bye-bye birdies. Good for 83 yards. Reggie.
Your goal is to always make the first guy miss. And so I made the first guy miss. That happened to be the center. Their center, their snapper, made him miss. When I put my foot in the ground, it was just like the Red Sea parted, and there was nobody in front of me. I remember Courtney Roby running down the field with me. All I had to do was beat the punter. And it was a great play design, and my teammates did a great job blocking as well in that play.
First of all, Minnesota was an unbelievable team. They had a magical season just like us. And it was funny because as the season was going on, I think we were both looking at each other saying, we're going to meet down the road. Well, I think we all knew that it was only a matter of time and that, you know, destiny was that we were going to meet in the NFC Championship game. It was just going to be a matter of whose place are we playing it at, you know? Because they were winning at the same pace we were. So we have home field advantage, so they come down to us. But you're talking Brett Favre and Adrian Peterson, one of the best defenses, you know, in the NFL.
If you looked at the stat line of that game, look closely at total yards, passing, rushing, first downs, you'd definitely say the Vikings were going to win this game.
What's scary is that game is almost a blur. I just remember the atmosphere and the setting of, you know, it was a heavyweight fight.
It was a very exciting atmosphere, but I think all of us believed we can beat this team and head off to the Super Bowl, but we need to take care of business today. I felt it was my job to just keep Garrett focused on kicking, keep it simple, make sure his tempo was solid and consistent.
You know, they were spectacular on offense in that game, and they just turned the ball over 5 or 6 times, and we, you know, whether you call it a takeaway or a turnover, it happened at a lot of opportune times for us, and you know, it was a great performance by our defense in that regard, taking the ball away, and it was so up and down. And you know, there were times where, we got this game won, and there were times where, we can't win the game.
I think we knew that the Vikings were going to score. They were going to be able to move the ball because they were so good that season and so talented across the board. So we were going to have to take some chances, and recognizing that we had an offense like we did where, you know, they're going to be able to bail us out sometimes, and hopefully feeling that the offense felt the same way about us. They could take some chances and defense could bail us out. So we had to come in and pressure early and often, you know, try to create some disruption, disrupt, you know, Brett at the quarterback position as much as we could.
I'm just telling myself nobody's going to take you down. You're going to run through everything, and you're going to score. And that screenplay, and then there was another play. I got a second touchdown where I broke through a tackle. I hit a guy. He was on my leg, and another guy came that jumped, like kind of flew over me. And I reached the ball out like, no, I'm getting this. This is mine. You guys are not stopping me. And you know, those type of plays, I was just hungry and determined that I wanted to do this.
That NFC Championship game came down to defense, and most of the games throughout that season, when I look back on it, had to do with our defense, either bailing us out, getting us extra possessions, or having to come up with a big stop. You towards the end of the game. And they did that time after time after time throughout that season. And then, in the NFC Championship game as well.
They're in field goal range, now right on the cusp of it. And they have timeout, they come out of the timeout, and they have 12 in the huddle. And they get penalized, and that brought them just outside of field goal range.
It's 3rd down and 15.
So we're coming out, I believe it was like 3rd and 15. They're kind of just outside of field goal range, and all they need is a couple yards to get in field goal range. And Vilma did a great job of making a check and putting us into a different coverage because he saw something.
And I remember looking and saying it's going to be a pass based on their formation. So I checked out of our blitz, went to cover 2, just normal cover 2. Everyone got it. Porter got it.
But, I mean, he's one of the smartest linebackers I've ever played with. So he knew the game, put us in the right call, and Brett tried to throw the ball across his body, which is, a cardinal sin for a quarterback.
Favre, half roll out to the right, has all sorts of time, throws it, and it's intercepted! This is Tracy Porter, he's coming back with it to the 40, he's to the 45, and taken down at the Saint 47-yard line with 7 seconds remaining in regulation.
He had this almost very prophetic way about him, to recognize kind of the situation in the game, and his film study was so sharp and recognizing kind of where those moments were. That was one of those freak plays, though, of Brett being Brett and, trying to do probably a little bit more than he should have done.
I saw Sidney Rice, who was trying to throw it to, and I stepped in the way, and, the rest was history after that.
If he doesn't do that, if he just downs the ball or takes a knee, again, they might win the game. But to win a championship in the NFL, it's so hard to do, and things got to go your way sometimes. So we were fortunate in that 09 season to have a couple chances and opportunities like that just happened to go our way. Brett being the riverboat gambler he is, worked out in our favor that time, and I thank him for it.
We went into overtime, and then we got the toss to receive, and they decided to put me back there. Pierre, go back there. You going to? I'm like, yes, I am running this back, and I'm going to win this game for us. That was my mindset back there. I'm like, yes. And I hear the crowd. I start getting the crowd going. I'm just like, yes, this is my moment, because everybody wants to have that moment.
He was so steady and so trustworthy. He was an outstanding college kick returner at Illinois and set records there. And there's a trust level we had.
When I got the kickoff, I was just like, yeah, let's go. And got my guys up in front, setting up the blocks, getting up. I was like, okay, let me hurdle this one guy. I can possibly return this. Oh, no, I'm down. But it was a great feeling, and just to put us in that position, was great.
Pierre, my vivid memory of that game is the 4th and 1, and in overtime.
Sean was like, I want to run this. And he looked at me, can you get it? I said, if you give me the ball, I'm getting it. I said, I'm getting this first down. I'm getting this yard that we need. I said, no matter what, that was my attitude. You're getting it. You're going to put the team, the Saints, in a position to go to the Super Bowl. Now go out there and do it.
And he gets a first down, and then he found a way to get a first down there.